Welcome, welcome, boys and girls. Welcome to Love Ballarat. My name is Miss Webster and welcome to my schoolhouse. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Wathaurong, of which we are gathered here today to share our stories. I would like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And I would also like to state that sovereignty was never ceded, and that this always was and always will continue to be Aboriginal land. Lovely. I'm so glad to see so many faces gathered here for the class today. Of course, things are a little different here today. As you can see, we are communicating via camera, which means if you wish to communicate with me, you can do so via our chat room, and I will endeavour to do my best to answer you as quickly as possible. Lovely. Now, before we get into the proceedings of the class today, there are 2 items you are needing to collect from around the home. The first one is going to be a pen and nib. Of course, children, if you do not have a pen and nib, I will allow you to use a pen, Miss Katrina. Don't let it happen again. Wonderful. I see that we have Elliot here, and Miss Kira Lee, Miss Linden, Master Oliver, Miss Fiona, Master Shannon, and Miss Emily. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, good to see you here. Lovely. Now, I'm sure that the rest of the children have now collected their items and have now resumed seats at their desks and tables. But before we get into the class today, I first want to run through some of the rules of etiquette and behaviour, things that you need to understand to attend class here at my schoolhouse. So, first of all, can I please ask you all to stand at your desk and table? Lovely. Now, we're going to talk about how to stand properly. Ladies, I will attend to you first. Ladies, you are going to stand with your feet together. You're going to stand nice and tall, with your head held high, and your hands clasped together like this. Ah, Sienna, you have arrived late to class. Stand with the rest of the girls and stand properly. Good. Now, for the boys, you are going to stand similarly. You're going to stand with your feet together, standing nice and tall, head held high, yes, but instead of holding your hands at the front, you are going to hold your hands at your backside. Good. Now, this is of the utmost importance when we are standing, but we are going to take our seats back at our desk, so please sit down once again. Now, sitting at your desk is quite similar to standing. You're going to sit with your feet flat to the floor and together. You're going to sit nice and tall, head held high, and your hands are going to end up in your laps. Now, I don't want you to see any hands moving from your laps unless directed to do so. Understood? Good. Now, here at the schoolhouse, we do not allow boys and girls to sit next to one another, but given the circumstances today, I will allow that. See, I am not a matchmaker. It is up to your parents, children, to find you a suitable suitor. I am here merely to educate. Miss Linden, do you wish to say something to the rest of the class? Then be quiet. As I was saying, I am not a matchmaker, I am here merely to educate. So that means for children like Miss Linden, there is to be no calling out, there is to be no talking, and there is to be no back-chatting. Children are to be seen and not heard, to speak only when spoken to. Is that understood, children? Of course, given the difficulties today, I cannot hear you, but of course, when I ask you a question, it is only polite that you respond in kind with either a yes, miss, or a no, miss. Of course, I would prefer the former, as things will go a lot smoother. But of course, as I cannot hear you, I will take it as a given that you have responded in kind. Good, now that we have established the school rules and you're all sitting up straight, Sitting up straight, children, allows for adequate breathing to take place. Adequate breathing allows for learning to happen. If you cannot breathe, you cannot learn anything. So nice and tall, head held high, hands in laps. Good. Now, if we were given more time here today, we would go into detail of the 3 R's. But given the time constraints, we're going to focus on one of the R's in particular. But of course, you all know what the 3 R's are. Yes? Can anyone tell me what those 3 R's are? That would be reading, writing, and arithmetic. Yes? Well, today we're going to focus on the writing component. You're going to learn how to write. We will focus on some reading, and that will be you being able to see what's written on the board. And then at the end of the class, we will touch on some arithmetic. Right, now let's get into the writing element of the class. Ragnar, you are doing wonderfully well sitting up straight with your hands in your laps. Good master. Everybody should follow Ragnar's example. Good. Right, writing. What is the handwriting style that we will be writing in? Does anyone know the formal style? Anyone at all?
Cursive, miss?
No, cursive is an element of this particular handwriting style, but it has a particular name. It does start with a C. Perhaps Raphael or Minerva might know. No. It's copper plate, children. Copper plate, yes? Copper plate is what you see on the board behind me here. It is the only handwriting style, and I do not want to see any variations of such. Is that understood, children? Good. Lovely. Now, copper plate follows a fundamental rule of 3 S's. The 3 S's are size, shape, and slope. Yes? Now, can anyone tell me what size refers to? Oh, Sienna, you have your hand up. Yes, size refers to the difference in sizing of the uppercase and lowercase letters, much like you see with our alphabet here on this board. Now, uppercase is essentially twice the size of lowercase letters. The lined paper is important for this, children, because it helps us to distinguish between the 2. Our uppercase letters, they take up 2 lines, and our lowercase letters, therefore, take up 1. Do you see the difference, children? Good. The second of the S's is shape. Now, with the English alphabet, there are 26 letters that make up the English alphabet. 26 letters, which means there are 26 individual shapes. Now, these shapes are characterized by the beautiful curves you see in the copper plate handwriting style. Now, it is important, children, that you take time in writing out each individual letter. You want to make sure that they look different from one another. Paying particular attention to letters such as I and J, for example, that look quite similar in characteristics. Good. The third of the 3 S's is slope. Now, slope is probably the most important. Slope refers to the slight angle, which I will demonstrate with my cane, the slight angle of which the letters sit on. Do we see that? Now, does anyone know exactly what that angle is? Samuel? Matthew? Do you know?
No, miss.
Right, maybe Annika can help the boys. Yes, that's right, Miss Annika. It is a 45-degree angle. Yes, we can see that there. Now, how do we achieve this angle? Well, it's all to do with the way that we hold our pen and nib. So can I please ask children that you pick up your pen and nib, or rather pencil if you do not have one of these tools, and hold it for me. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, I have noticed that there are some children that are holding their pen and nib in their left hand. Now, we all know that the Latin word for left-hander is sinistra. So I do hope that the left-handers will switch to the right hand and continue to write with their right hand for the remainder of the class. Is that understood, children? See, it's common sense, children. We are working with a wet ink with our pen and nib system. If we write from left to right across the page with our left hand, well, our palm will simply smudge the work, unlike those modern-day pens that have accommodated for you left-handers. So please make sure, children, that you hold it in your right hand. But of course, how do we hold our pen and nib correctly? Ah, good. Yes, Ragnar and Sienna, lovely. Lovely to see that you were holding it in your right hand. Good. Everyone, follow the example of Ragnar and Sienna. Now, the correct way to hold your pen and nib, children, taking your right hand, you're going to take your index finger. Now, your index finger, for those who are unaware, is the one located next to your thumb. Now, your pen and nib and your pencil will have a pointy bit at the end. We're going to take that index finger and line that up directly with the tip of the nib or the pencil. What we are then going to do is take our thumb and our middle finger located next to our index finger, and we're going to wrap it around the pen like so. Good, everyone's holding it correctly. Lovely, lovely, that's what I like to see. But make sure, children, you are sitting up straight. None of that slouching now. Remember, ladies, you are corset training from an early age. Corset training would restrict you from slouching. Excuse me, young miss. Stop giggling in the classroom. What have I told you about bad behaviour? I accept your apology. Don't do it again. Right. Now, with holding our pen correctly and referring to slope, how do we achieve this 45-degree angle on the paper? Well, it's rather quite simple, children. The way we do it is by coming into contact with the paper. We don't hold the pen and nib straight up and down. We hold it on a slight angle, and that's all to do with the manipulation of your wrist. Tilt it to the side ever so slightly, and that will allow for the slope to occur. Now, slope is important for two reasons. The first one is it allows for the beautiful curves to occur in our handwriting style of copper plate. But also, someone mentioned before cursive. Now, cursive, with the copper plate handwriting style, refers to the joining of the letters. And as you can see by size, slope, and shape behind me here, all of our letters are joined together. I do not want to see anyone not joining their letters here today. Wonderful. Well, now that we have established size, shape, and slope, and we all know how to hold our pen correctly in our right hand, I would like you all now to take your pen and nib if you have one, and you're going to dip it in your inkwell ever so slightly so that the ink catches on the nib. And for those using a pencil, you can skip that step. But you're going to take the tip of your pen and nib or your pencil, and you are now going to make contact with your paper. What I would like you to first do, children, is write your name and today's date. Now, making sure that we use uppercase letters for the first letter in our name and for the first letter in Sunday and May. So today's date is on my board here for reference. Yes, it is Sunday, May 31st, 1854. Of course, I do not want to see anyone writing 2020. We don't need cheekiness in this classroom today. We've already got people talking. Lovely. So please go ahead and write your name and today's date. But I want you to make sure that you are taking care with your writing, children. I want you all to be writing with no spelling mistakes, no splodges, no smudges. I don't want to see any inconsistency with your ink, children. That is really important. Now, with the joining of your letters, you should be able to move in quick and swift movements across the page. This will allow for your ink to travel further on your paper. For every dip in the inkwell, children, it will get you 2 to 3 lines of writing. So please, go ahead, children, write your name and today's date, and if anyone is having any trouble, I can assist you. Just let me know via our chat room. Miss Deanne, stop throwing your ink around. Do you want to come back to the school tomorrow at 6 a.m. and scrub my floorboards? I don't think so. Now write your name, Miss Deanne. Thank you. Lovely. I'll give you a moment to write your name and today's date. Again, the date is on the board. It should be easy enough, and you do have the alphabet as a reference tool. Lovely. Sitting up straight, children. I see a lot of slouching happening. And stop talking. I do love the quiet. It's music to my ears. Right, you should all be finished writing your name and today's date. We don't have a lot of time, so we are now going to move on to the next part of the lesson. We are going to do some copying from the board. The first one I have here is, all that glitters is not gold. Right, Master Elliot, tell me, what does this mean? Miss Kiralee, maybe you can help Master Elliot? Yes, Miss Kiralee, that is right. All that glitters is not gold means that not everything that seems precious or true turns out to be so. Yes? Now, why are we talking about this in particular here and now? Well, children, you are not here at the schoolhouse for long. You are going to enter into adulthood at an early age. Boys, you are going to enter into the mines at the age of 9, earning money to support the family, and then eventually earning enough money to support your own children. And ladies, by the ages of 10 to 14, you're going to head home and learn the required skills of cooking, cleaning, and sewing, which are going to help you be the best possible mother, wife, and hostess you can possibly be. Now, by the age of 14, children, you all will be married. How exciting, something to look forward to. And of course, with marriage comes children of your own. No, you may not go to the toilet. You should have gone before class, young miss. Now be quiet. Now, some of you may be more prosperous in the area of childbearing. For you, Miss Sienna, you might have 12 children. And for you, Master Elliot, you might only have 2. And that is also taking into account that your children are lucky enough to make it to the age of 2. But let's not dwell on that, shall we? What this all refers to, all that glitters is not gold, is that you are going to be making decisions not only for yourself, but for your children. So this one is important to remember. Now, what I'd like you to do is now take what I've written on the board and copy it onto your paper. So I'll give you a moment to do so. Remember to sit up straight, children, and of course, if you have any questions or queries about what's written on the board, let me know and I can help you. Ah, yes, good work, Master Daniel. Yes, you're quite quick with your copper plate. Lovely, you've had practice at home, I see. Lovely. Yes, Miss Fiona, sitting up nice and straight. That's the way, no slouching. Ah, Miss Linden, yes, you have beautiful curvature in your work. Lovely. Right, well, you should all be finished writing all that glitters is not gold, children. Shouldn't be that hard to do, as I have already written it on the board for you. You're simply just copying it. Good. Now, the last thing that I have on the board that I'd like us to copy is one thing I have enjoyed whilst at home. Given the current circumstances, I know that it has been a difficult time for most in isolation, but I think it is also a time to reflect upon and appreciate those things that we usually take for granted. For me, one thing I have enjoyed is being able to connect with family through new modes of communication. For others, it might be learning a new hobby, like riding a horse, or woodwork, or perhaps even getting outside and planting vegetables and fruits in the garden. So please write down one thing that you have enjoyed whilst at home. And of course, if you would like to share what you have enjoyed at home with me, please let us know via our chat room. I would so love to know what people have been up to during this time. Lovely, so I'll give you a moment to do that, children. Now, making sure that we're all writing at the same pace, children, ever so important. Yes, we don't want anyone lagging behind. There will be consequences, as I have already stated, for those that do not adhere to the rules. Ah, yes. It is very curly, Missy, and I understand that, but you should be well versed in copperplate. You should be able to do it by now. You're at an age where you should be perfecting that skill. Just give it a go, Miss Sienna. Lovely. Quiet. I can still hear you in the back. Lovely. Daniel, sit up straight. Did you not get enough sleep last night? Well, you'll have time for napping later. We haven't got much further to go in class. Sit up straight. Right, one thing you have enjoyed, Master Daniel, please. Lovely. Ah, Miss Annika has loved painting. Oh, I do ever so much love painting, Miss Annika. Yes, oh, have you been painting the countryside? Have you been painting animals? I love painting the sky, Miss Annika. It's one of my favourite pastimes. Lovely. I'm glad to hear that you've all been getting up to some wonderful things. Ah, yes, Ragnar loves playing with dump trucks and T-Rex with his Auntie Reen. Oh, that's lovely, Ragnar. And I'm sure Auntie Reen loves playing dump trucks and T-Rex with you as well. Lovely. All right, well, now that everyone has written one thing they have enjoyed, I would like you all now to put your pens on your table. The final thing we're going to do here today, children, is recite our 17 times tables. So this is the arithmetic part of the lesson. Now we focus on adding, subtracting, dividing and multiplying. Now here at the Schoolhouse we learn up to the multiplication of 20. Now can anyone tell me why we might learn our 20 times tables? Up to the multiplication, of course, of 12. No, Miss Linden, you cannot copy, Deanne. Do your own work, thank you. Well, we learn up to 12 times 20, and it's all to do with money. Shillings, pence, and pounds. There are 12 shillings in a pence, and there are 20 pence in a pound. Or rather, 240 shillings per pound. And 12 times 20 is 240. Yes, that's right. So, all together now, we're going to recite our times tables, and then I will let you go for the day. So the 17 times tables, really simple. You should all have them prepared and ready to go. So nice and slow, all with me. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 times 17 is 17. 2 times 17 is 34. 3 times 17 is 51. 4 times 17 is 68. 5 times 17 is 85. 6 times 17 is 102. 7 times 17 is 119. 8 times 17 is 136. 9 times 17 is 153. 10 times 17 is 170. 11 times 70 is 187. And 12 times 17 is 205. It was a good attempt, but not altogether there. It seems some of you are not taking your homework seriously. As such, you are going to go home and brush up on your 17 times tables, ready to recite for the next time we meet together. But, children, it seems that is really all the time that we have here today together. I do hope that you have found today's class rather insightful, educational, and a little bit of fun. And I do look forward to the next time that we meet. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and on behalf of Love Ballarat, I have been Miss Webster, and this has been my schoolhouse. You're all now dismissed.